O ku kahikina o ka lā, o hina komohana o ka lā, na o mākua launa hele hele ho o ulu kanaka, e maliu mai. O na o mākua e aloha mai, ka mea ima I ia e kalawale kona haumia me kona hema hema apau. Eia ka wai he wai hui kala e kala hoʻi la e.
Aloha kako. I'm really pleased to be able to share with you today the story of our Māla Lāʻau Lapaʻau here at the John A. Burns School of Medicine. The Māla Lāʻau Lapaʻau means healing garden or garden of our Native Hawaiian medicinal plants. And its story actually goes back to the original architectural drawings for our new campus. On the original architectural drawings, my boss at the time, Dr. Benjamin Young, noticed that there was a very small section that was dedicated to Native Hawaiian plants. Well, for Dr. Ben Young, this was just totally not appropriate. UH Manoa had adopted a strategic plan of making Manoa a Hawaiian place of learning. And to him, how can our campus be a Hawaiian place of learning when our Hawaiian plants were corralled into a little tiny place on this campus? So there had been some effort put into by the architects of the buildings, and there was acknowledgement of Hawaiian place of learning in the artwork that was used, in the bringing in of light, windows, the use of our JABSOM logo, but there wasn't that kind of attention paid to the landscaping. So Dr. Ben Young gathered a team. It included Dr. Nanette Judd, Dr. Isabella Abbott, and Likeke Paglinawan. Likeke Paglinawan was a cultural practitioner. He was a master of Ho'oponopono and the Hawaiian martial art of Lua. And Dr. Isabella Abbott was Professor Emeritus, first Native Hawaiian female PhD in botany at UH. And he really wanted their input, cultural perspective on the kind of landscaping that we should have in this campus if we were going to honor that Hawaiian place of learning. So, so we put together a proposal to the landscape architect, and we requested that the landscaping be comprised of mostly Native Hawaiian, so Native Hawaiian plants, as well as Polynesian introduced plants. And instead of having a very small section of the campus dedicated to Native Hawaiian plants, that we might actually have a section of the landscaping that be the home for our healing plants. So Native Hawaiian healing plants, a garden, a place that could in the future be a classroom.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Winona Lee. I am an associate professor in the Department of Native Hawaiian Health. In my role as the Native Hawaiian Center of Excellence Director, I help to oversee programs and initiatives that benefit and improve the health of Native Hawaiians. Here at JABSOM, one of our goals is to ensure the sustainability and care for our Māla Lāʻau Lapaʻau. The Māla Lāʻau Lapaʻau is a traditional Native Hawaiian healing garden here on the campus of the medical school. We at the Department of Native Hawaiian Health are the primary caretakers of the garden. We lead Māla work days where we bring together students, faculty, and staff to help care for the Māla at least once per month. Our cleanup days are open to the public, our partners, and all JABSOM faculty, staff, and students. We started the work days in 2010, and since then it has really grown to become a way of service and outreach for our students. So many of our students, both at the medical school and also those who are on their path to becoming physicians, join us here in the Māla to give back to the land by taking care of the land. Many individuals might be aware of the saying that the health of the people is dependent on the health of our land. And so in that way, it's really important for us to gather together. The Māla workdays not only help us care for the land, but they also help us care for each other. So during these times when we're working the garden, students and faculty can come together, they can reconnect. Sometimes there's mentoring, advising that happens. We also have colleagues who reconnect and can talk about the work that they're doing together in research or education. And it's just a time to really feel good about doing something productive for yourself and something that's beneficial for others. Other things that we do in the Māla, we have classroom days where we spend time teaching students about the plants here in the Māla, how the traditional uses of our ancient herbs, Lāʻau Lapaʻau, have been used and are currently used in modern day. And so it's a natural classroom that really allows students to enjoy the environment, appreciate the resources that we have here in Hawaiʻi, and to also, as medical students, see that there's value not only in modern Western medicine, but also in the ancient knowledge of our people. So it has been an honor and a privilege to be part of the stewards of the Māla Lāʻau Lapaʻau and to make possible these Māla gatherings where we can come together, students, faculty, staff, and even partners in the community to care for our Māla, to reconnect, and to give back.
Aloha, my name is Deanne Lealoha Carpenter, and I'm with the Department of Native Hawaiian Health in the Native Hawaiian Center of Excellence. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about what I do in the Māla. We've held a number of events there, as well as used the Māla for an outdoor classroom. We hold our kihei ceremony for our graduating Native Hawaiian medical students in the Māla and have been doing so since 2014. And although the kihei ceremony actually started in 2010, it was really important to really ground the students in their sense of place here at the Johnny Burns School of Medicine. And so when it was discussing that year what we were going to do and where we were going to hold the kihei ceremony, it was absolutely befitting to really have it here at our Māla. And it really grounds the students in who they are and where they're from. And it's a great takeoff as to where they're going to go and how they are going to care for their patients. And the kihei signifies for the student as the student actually makes their own kihei here on campus. And sometimes we actually use the actual kukui leaves and the nut, as well as some of the other la'au that you see all around the garden in regards to actually printing it on their kihei. So it's only befitting that our Māla is being used for celebration of our kanaka oiwi. Early in the year of their last year, our Native Hawaiian students actually gather with me to make their kihei. And their kihei actually represents two things. Certainly the next stage of them finishing medical school and going on to residency and becoming kanaka oiwi. But in making the kihei, sometimes they use different la'au that's here on campus, especially in the Māla. And when they get to the kihei ceremony, at that point, we use protocol to adorn the kihei to the students themselves. So a kauka from the ahahui o nā kauka actually puts on the kihei for the students, and then a Native Hawaiian Center of Excellence faculty member gives them a kukui lei, and the kukui also signifies long life and the brightness that they will shine upon caring of their patients. And sometimes that kukui leaves actually comes directly from our Māla as well.
Here in our Māla, we had erected a ahu ola o ka akau kukui, or a stone altar of healing for our community, for our students, our faculty. And the ahu actually has 4 pohaku kihi, or cornerstones that represent 4 pillars in our community that helped to establish our Department of Native Hawaiian Health, but also a focus on Native Hawaiian health here at our medical school at the University of Hawaii. One is for Dr. Kekuni Blaisdell, a well-known physician. He was actually the first chair of medicine when our medical school first started, who was responsible for even a focus on Native Hawaiian health at a time when there was very little attention given to the issue. The other is for Dr. Ben Young, who also helped to advance Native Hawaiians in medicine by starting many of our pathway programs here at the medical school. The other is Dr. Nalin Andrade, former chair of psychiatry, but also a former board chair of the Queen's Health Systems, also responsible for increasing the focus and attention given to Native Hawaiian health. And finally, the fourth is for Dr. Marjorie Mao, the founding chair of our Department of Native Hawaiian Health. In Ahu'ola, this stone altar is a place that people can come to give offerings, to contemplate on things, to meditate, to get away. But this is the most sacred place here in our Māla. And when coming to our Māla, when around the ahu, it is very important that you treat it with reverence and respect. It is important that none of the stones are removed or touched. It is important that nothing that is placed upon the altar is touched other than the kahu or caretakers. If you're interested in conducting ceremony or giving offerings, please contact us at the Department of Native Hawaiian Health so we can help guide you and make sure that the protocols and ceremonies are appropriate. And we ask that no one, especially in the ahu, sits or stands or leans against our ahu. But you are welcome to go into our Māla, walk around, and share in the experience of our Māla for the reasons I mentioned earlier. No leila, mahalo nui ya oko. Thank you very much.
Aloha, I am Mele Look. I am the founding director of the Community Engagement Division at the Department of Native Hawaiian Health, John A. Burns School of Medicine, University of Hawaii, presently senior advisor to the department. The Ahu Ola, which is a healing point of reflection, considered a platform, a shrine, was established in the Māla on our 15th anniversary of the establishment of our department. It was put together from stones, pohaku, from across the Pae'aina, across Hawaii. So each of the islands, stones were gathered or given. And it also includes from the lowest and newest island, Lo'ihi, to the highest point in the island, Mauna Kea. We had consecrated it, established it with a ceremony including ava, which is offerings and givings. And ahu really can be a point of meditation. We situated it in the Māla, looking towards the ocean. It's a reflection of healing, of prayer or offering, of lei, a reason to open and welcome guests to the Māla. We start our groups with introducing them to the Māla at the ahu. It reminds us of our ancestors and what they gave and their knowledge of Native Hawaiian health and their important worldview of health, which is health from mind, body, and spirit, not just from the physical, but from the emotional as well as spiritual. We feel that the ahu was an important part of the Māla, not only to signify the department and its 15th year, but to really start setting a foundation for indigenous perspective on campus. We use symbols and plants in our motifs throughout the university, the medical school. And this is just another way for people to connect who are indigenous and make them feel that it is a space for them, and also to welcome and join other indigenous people and people throughout Hawaii as a place of calm and a place of healing. We have been told by many people as we take care of the Māla, lots of the staff in the medical school and the cancer center go there for a moment of calm, a moment of enjoyment of nature, And the ahu serves as a piko, a center point for that.
One of the first things you'll notice when you come to our garden is that we have several trees in our mala. One of the most important trees is the kukui tree. The kukui tree was probably one of the most important plants in our culture. It was the source for oil for our lamps. It was also the source for food, such as in inamona, and of course medicine. One plant I'd like to point out that isn't directly in our garden, but right behind it, is the laulu palm. And we specifically asked for this palm to be introduced in the landscaping because it is the only native Hawaiian palm. It's the only palm native to our islands. This particular laulu palm can be seen when you look at the research building behind the mala. There's a tall one and a shorter one in front. And what's really interesting about this one is the seeds come from the island of Nihoa. So in addition to the trees, there are some other plants that have done particularly well in our mala. Behind me, you can see the naupaka plant, and behind that is hala and ko. We have ko added because, of course, sometimes herbal medicine isn't easy to take, and so Hawaiians also added ko, or sugar cane, to make medicines more palatable and easy to take. We have ape. We also have uhaloa, we have popolo, we have olena and avapuhi among some of the plants that do particularly well in this garden. We also have tea leaf, which is also an important thing to have in any Hawaiian healing garden. Again, it's a plant that was used for medicinal purposes, but also culturally very important for ceremony, as well as used by hula dancers, of course. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about the history of our mala, and I really hope you get a chance to come and explore and enjoy. It is here. It was designed to be a living classroom, and it is here for JABSOM to enjoy and to use for learning and healing purposes. Mahalo.
O ku kahikina o ka lā, o hina komohana o ka lā, na o mākua lau nā hele hele ho o ulu kanaka, e maliu mai. O na o mākua e aloha mai, ka mea I ma ia e kalawale kona haumia me kona hema hema apau. Eia ka vai he vai hui kala e kala ho'i la Eia ka lāʻau, he lāʻau ku, he lāʻau moe, he lāʻau kolo ka lāʻau. O ku ka akau o hina ka hema e ho mai I lāʻau lapaʻau, I lāʻau ākua, he a he ili, he lau. He liko, he pua, he hua ka lāʻau. Ai ka lāʻau e ola ho'i la O hoaka ka mahina, o ku ka mahina, ka loa ka mahina, o kane ka mahina, o lono ka mahina, a ho'i hou ka mauli ola, o ka pani na ke ia ua ola. Ola kolo pupu a haumaka I ole, a palala uhala ka I koko, a mamau anoa, a mamau anoa e.